Welcome to the most forward-thinking, inspirational podcast in this reality. The show designed to challenge everything we've been taught. If you've ever felt there had to be more to life, more to existence, then you're listening to the right podcast. Time to open your mind and dive in. This is the Mental Mastery Alliance podcast.
And here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Mental Mastery Alliance podcast. Today, we're going to jump into a recurring theme. It is perception. And it's kind of funny because I'm watching all over the internet, everybody fight everybody. And I get all these ideas when I'm watching the internets and seeing stuff. And I think to myself, every single time I'm scrolling around the internet, I get more and more fed up with what I'm looking at. I'm getting fed up, internet. And this is primarily because you go onto a post, and a long time ago, back in the day, back pre-internet, you know, there was guilty until proven innocent. No, wait, that's today. There was innocent until proven guilty. And now it doesn't matter. Anyone can say anything they want, and whenever that gets blasted on the internet, that then becomes lore. I just read this article about the Ruby Rose, the girl from some television show, Orange is the New Black. Again, who cares? Who cares who Ruby Rose is? Who cares what the television show is? The only reason we care is because we were told to. And it's funny to think this because so many times, whatever we put our quote-unquote care into or our emphasis behind, it's just some sort of other alternative programming that they've rammed down our throats. So I read this article about, and don't get me wrong, I'm not advocating Katy Perry. I'm not advocating anything. I'm merely making an observation. First and foremost, anything I can even think of Katy Perry has been shown to me, right? And as far as I see it now, Katy Perry's dating Trudeau. And from what I see on the news, it looks weird. From what I hear about his own private security detail, from people who have actually been employed to quote-unquote protect Justin Trudeau, he has different proclivities than one might assume comes with a Katy Perry girlfriend. How do you say these things without saying these things? Because I don't have any proof of any of this. Everything's all hearsay. It's all entertainment purposes only. If you're going to soundbite this podcast, you must soundbite it in its entirety. I could have slapped the button, but I probably would have pressed the wrong one. Disclaimer. So, I watch the internet go nuts over political posts. I watch people post in Canada about liberalism and how we now have a majority government because the Conservatives kept crossing the floor. And my opinion is, well, they must have gotten paid to. And then my understanding is also, if you're not a liberal, your riding doesn't get funding. So goes the story. And I can sit here and I can be attacked by even saying that from people who can't think. You see, it's not that we've never been taught to think. Truthfully, we haven't. We've never even been taught how to properly process any form of information. We were taught to memorize, not deduce, not extrapolate, not expand upon an idea. You are graded on how well you remember what you were told, not on how creative you could be. Hence the reason that they wanted to give Ritalin to all these kids. They even wanted to give it to me. That's a big surprise. Of course I'm ADHD. I'm borderline autistic. I'm sure I'm on the spectrum. My brain just isn't what it is. And everyone's like, oh, those are just cancer traits. I'm like, okay, so these are the things that we've been taught. So you can assess me based on the knowledge that you have of me and other things. I'm bringing this up because I'm watching everyone have an opinion about everything. You go to any post on Facebook or social media or what have you, and there is a litany of people in the comments. Hundreds of thousands of people commenting on everything, everywhere, all the time. What is happening? Oh, doozy. And this irritates me. I sound like that Simpsons cartoon, old man shakes fist at cloud. The internet! God damn it. But it's not irritating in the sense that one would assume it's irritating. I'm irritated because I'm starting to observe my own patterns. There was an old meme, too, that I saw that made me laugh a long time ago that said something along the lines of, when Facebook shows you something that you posted 7 years ago, you're like, oh, God, how foolish was I? And luckily, my account, the foolish account, I deleted it. And I started a quote-unquote business account. But it's just another character. Every single Facebook account is just a character. And when you realize that every single account that you've put out there is just a character, it's who you want the world to be, your Facebook, your Instagram, whatever you are on social media, you're just playing a character. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just what the world's doing. And so I look at this and I think to myself, okay, so all of these people are playing characters. And I remember being a jerk. I remember being a bully. I remember where I was mentally when I was a sarcastic prick online, when I thought I was funny. My problem, too, with all of that was when you do that sort of stuff, you live out externally what you feel internally. So every single person that's attacking you is trash. And I'm noticing this more and more on my account, too, the Mental Mastery Alliance on the Instagram. If you guys haven't checked it out, head over to the Instagram at the Mental Mastery Alliance. And while we're at it, get yourself a tinfoil hat. thementalmasteryalliance.com. Click on tinfoil and get yourself a hat. Support the show. We love it. It's the coolest little hat in the world. Shameless plug right in the middle of the episode. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Bing! Tinfoil hats. I'm wearing one right now, but I'm not on video, so you can't see that. But I'm wearing one right now. I'm doing my best radio voice while talking about the hat. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Perception. Internet. People are attacking everything. And I can't help but laugh. Like, I remember there was a moment in time, and this is one of those things, too, that every single person that ever launched a podcast or has the idea or desire to launch a podcast, they think to themselves, I don't have a thick skin like you. I don't have the ability to put up with what the people might say. I can't handle the online attack. And I remember when I was younger, the good old days, it bothered me too. I used to be so egoically charged, and this was the truth. I was so egoically charged. If people didn't perceive me the way I wanted to be perceived, I felt like a failure. And I felt attacked, and I felt less than, and I felt foolish, which is so weird. Right? You further that out into you doing your best to live with integrity and to post things online and to have people attack them too. This is where it gets weird. Because so many people are afraid to say the things that they know need to be said because they're afraid of what happens if people read it. They're afraid of the backlash coming from people. And I'll tell you this, the backlash itself taught me how to fight the backlash. So I had to go into it. I had to face it head on. And it stung for a bit because it wasn't the image I wanted to portray anymore. I didn't want to be an asshole. And it's like something switched because I was an asshole. I was never liberal-minded, but I was certainly an asshole. And I had no problem spouting out my assholeness to anyone who would listen. The internet was great for me, up until the summer of 96. Up until it wasn't, up until I didn't want to portray that guy, until I wasn't him anymore, until I couldn't be him. And it's funny because we don't know what made him in the first place. That version of me that I was very sure was me, and then was very sure I was ashamed of. And this comes back to how you function. You know, all of the things that we hold against ourselves from when we were younger, from when we didn't know better, all the things that we did that may have been good or bad, all the things that were done to us that may have been good or bad. You are not that person. You are not a prisoner of your past. These were all lessons. These were all things that you needed. And remember this, and I've said this 1,000 times. Go to the mentalmasteryalliance.com, click on the tinfoil button, and get your hat. Oh, no, that's not what I've said 1,000 times. But I will. I'm gonna eke that into most of our shows because it's such a cool hat. The coolest thing about this hat, though, I'm telling you, it's like, do you see the people out there wearing their face masks? And you're like, I don't need to talk to you. I'm like, whatever. Like, you know, do your thing. Just chill out. Just leave me alone. You're a weird face mask wearer. This hat has the same effect, but it's the reverse effect. Right? So you're wearing your tinfoil hat, and people come up to you, free thinkers, beautiful women. Oh my God, the conservative women are just stunning. I have never met, how do I put this? A liberal-looking conservative woman, just beautiful from stem to stern, head to toe beauty. I don't care if you're 6'1", if you're 5'1", if you're 400 pounds, if you're 900 pounds, if you're 120 pounds. The conservative mindseted female is stunning, often in blue jeans, most of the time driving a truck, forever making fun of Tesla. These are the women that are going to approach you when you're wearing your tinfoil hat. And ladies, when you're wearing your tinfoil hat, the world will bow to you just because you're signaling how smart you are and how great you are at picking hats. And I'll tell you this, most men worth their salt love a beautiful lady in a ball cap. I attest. Now, that was another shameless plug. Geez, they keep falling out. They're fantastic hats, by the way. But I keep saying this. You're not a prisoner of your past. You are not something. Is that like considered a dynamic ad? Because I just work it in. I don't have to press a button or anything. I just work it into my own show. This is what they've been trying to get me to do forever. Insert dynamic ads. And then when we blew the show up in episode 306 around there, they all stopped asking because our metrics were just dead. We went from tons of views to dead. Now, I'll say this. Thank you guys very much for sharing this and reminding people that the show still exists past episode 306. They just have to research the feed. We're coming back. Slowly but surely, we're coming back with your help. And if you haven't shared the show, what are you thinking? Get out there and tell people about us. Tell the right people about us. I felt like, what's his name? Lewis Black for a minute there. So I'm standing in a Starbucks window and I look out. What do I see across the street? Another goddamn Starbucks. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, I was doing the thing with my hand as I was saying that. You were having a Lewis Black. Anyway. You're not a prisoner. You're not a prisoner of who you were. You're not a prisoner of your identity. You are not a prisoner of the worst thing you've ever done. You are not a prisoner of the worst thing that was ever done to you. You learned through. You were not born into this world. You are born out of this world. And I feel like I'm rambling a little bit, but I'm not because all of this is very important. You are the center of the universe, and you'd look fantastic in a tinfoil hat. That being said, when we come to these understandings and these realizations, you think to yourself, okay, that's who I was. That's the way it went. The world created that version of me. I lived through it. The world has created this version of me. I'm living through it. I'm becoming the next version of me. I'm learning what I need to learn. I'm creating what I need to create. The world around me is listening and paying attention. And that's really cool. So I digress. I fall back to all of these people who are chirping me. It just seems that whenever I click on their accounts, they've got like 2 followers. They've got no posts. They're following 14 people. They're just out chirping. Every single one of the negative chirps or the stupid comments that people make, there's nobody following the account. There's no real account to it. So one of two things. These are bot accounts designed to control the way you perceive your version of reality. which I firmly believe. Secondarily, they're just losers. They're just losers hanging out. They've got nothing to do, so they're just running around chirping other people for the sake of chirping. And you can't ever get upset with the opinion of somebody who's not doing anything. If you're of the mindset that you want to get out there and you want to create and you want to do something, get out there and do it. Right? The world has programmed you to be afraid of doing that. The world has taught you not to do it. The world has said at every turn, stop doing it. I look at the internet all the way through, and all I see is propaganda. Do you remember Facebook back in the day? You'd open it up and you'd find out what your friends were up to. Now you just see random shit. You can scroll through whatever you want. It's all either ad or this or that, or promotion or ad. You're not seeing when was the last time you saw any friends? Honestly, if you think about it, Facebook started in 2007? Think about who you were in 2007. You had friends in 2007. Now we don't even fucking have friends, even though we've got 1 million Facebook friends. We don't have friends. We don't have people we can talk to. We are more divided now than we've ever been in our entire lives. Under the guise of unity, which is the shit that blows me away. It's fascinating. It's fascinating and it's intentional. And so this brings me back 15 minutes into the podcast, 16 minutes into the podcast, about what I came here to talk about. One of my own personal epiphanies. I was listening to this guy talk about stuff and he's like, I know this doesn't exist. I know jet fuel doesn't exist. And he's going on all these things that I know. And then he just sort of off the cuff says, I know the atom doesn't exist. And I thought to myself, hibbity-doo, what was that? I'd never heard this lineage, but I've honestly based a very firm opinion of reality on the fact that the atom does exist. So regardless of how we perceive this world or the information or the people in it, there comes a point in time where you absolutely have to question the knowledge that you have, because whatever's inside your head, left, right, blue, green, up, down, whatever's inside your head is what's creating your version of reality. I like my version of reality. It doesn't coincide with everybody's, obviously. But for me to look at this and go, okay, so now I have to do research onto why he believes the atom doesn't exist. That's a lot of research. And of course, where am I going to find that information? You can't just go Googling that shit, because that's the premise of how society works. So if the atom isn't real, and I've got a lot more digging to do. I only came across this today, but this is just another one of those things that made me really want to jump on here and record and talk. That, and I was supposed to record yesterday, but we've been slacking. I want to say even a seasoned recorder such as myself comes up to the microphone and sometimes gets tongue-tied and twisted. But creativity keeps flowing. The blog is going. The website's brand new. Go check out the website. I have to actually import the old. So all of you who were receiving the old blog, which stopped like 6 or 7 months ago because of our old carrier, I now have to re-import you to the new blog website. But the website's up and running. It's beautiful. We've been ultra creative. So creativity isn't flowing, or hasn't stopped flowing, but it's changed direction. Do we want to keep speaking? 1,000%. The podcast is the most beautiful bread and butter in the entire world. And if you haven't launched yours yet, give us a call. 647-338-1265. Leave a voicemail, send a text. Actually, don't leave a voicemail. Just send a text. Unless you want to have your voice heard on the show, then leave a voicemail. We go through them. If they're good, we'll play them. If not, we'll just turn them into a mailbag. Text messages are great too. Most people try to be funny and leave strange voicemails. So if they are funny, we'll play them. But anyway, I digress. I'm saying that there are hesitations to even sit down and record. We're 18 minutes into this podcast, and it took me 5 times to start the podcast to record it, because my first 5 intros I did not care for. I'm like, what am I even talking about? But then it just flows. It comes out of you. So remember, if you guys are starting your show, info at the Mental Mastery Alliance, we can help you out. We want to help you out. There is a plethora of ways that you can go about figuring out what you need to figure out. There is a ton of stuff that you can do to understand and comprehend who, what, and where you are and how you fit into this. That information is everywhere. We're even going to put together a whole program on that, a free program running off the website just for you guys to check out. I don't want to be one of those people that sits here and speaks in indefinites. I don't want to be an authority figure on the internet. I want to be your buddy that just hangs out and helps you sort of work through things mentally, because all of the answers that you can come up with are for you to come up with. The internet is riddled with people attempting to tell you how it is. And then the rest of the people on the internet are bitching and arguing, commenting. So fake people are telling you how it is. Bots are arguing in the comments. Real people are observing all of this and doing their best to make a decision. I firmly believe that the real people, quote unquote, on this planet, in this realm, in this reality, it's a fraction of what's going on. I think the bots are everywhere. I'm more and more baffled by what this is or where we could possibly be every single day. And now knowing that there's this theory that atoms don't exist, well, that blows away my belief. That blows away holographic Earth. That blows away program. Or I have to rewire how program works if we're not energy based. Because again, when you split the atom, it's quarks, and quasons inside. So inside, quote unquote, physical matter is pure energy. Pure energy. Anybody remember that commercial? I don't have the answers. I don't want to have the answers. I want to be able to live in the question, which I do quite freely and quite enjoyably. I think this world is beautiful and runs on the mystery that makes it beautiful. So I don't know, and like I said, I'm not here to tell you that atoms are fake. I'm not here to tell you that. I am here to tell you that I heard it and it shook me and it gave me the opportunity to look deeper. I'm also here to tell you to head over to thementalmasteryalliance.com and take a look at tinfoil. Get yourself a tinfoil hat. Ba-dum-bum. I'm here to tell you guys to have a little bit of fun with life. Start your podcast, start your blog, share your information. You don't need to be cookie cutter. You don't need to be an authority. You're not even sharing for other people. You're sharing for yourself. You're creating for yourself because you are your most whole as a human while you're creating. You want the cure for depression? Create. Create. Some say the cure for depression is drugs. It is temporarily. I don't advocate for it because it's just a Band-Aid. I advocate for creation. I advocate for having fun. I advocate for trusting yourself, trusting your gut, and knowing that if you're operating with pure integrity and moving in a forward direction, you're going to succeed. Ladies and gentlemen, if there's anything we can do for you, please don't hesitate to reach out. Info at the Mental Mastery Alliance. Check us out, thementalmasteryalliance.com. Brand new website. You might like it. Instagram.com/The Mental Mastery Alliance. Send us a DM. If we don't get back to you, send us another DM. These things get lost in the boxes. There's 4 inboxes on a bigger account, and a lot of them get spammed with utter bullshit. So if you send something, we're getting like 15 messages a day, 20 messages a day sometimes from just random accounts pretending to be something. It's just scam, bot, scam, bot. So if we don't reply to you, we want to. Send us a DM. Keep sending us a DM. Keep loving us. If there's anything we can do, like I said, hit us up. Hit me up directly if you don't want to go through the system. Adam at thementalmasteryalliance.com. Text me, 647-338-1265. That is the phone number for the podcast. It is monitored. We will see it. Ladies and gentlemen, in the infamous words of Red Green, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy.
We really hope you enjoyed this episode of the Mental Mastery Alliance podcast. Stay connected with us directly through the mentalmasteryalliance.com. You can also join the discussion on Instagram at instagram.com/the Mental Mastery Alliance. Let the team know you're listening by using the hashtag TMMA or tagging us at the Mental Mastery Alliance. To have your voice heard on the show, leave a voicemail or send a text to 647-338-1265. Long distance charges may apply. If you love us, leave us a review. If you hate us, you spend your time in weird ways, but also leave a review. Every review on iTunes tickles the algorithm, helping us grow. Until next time, unity over division. This concludes the most surreal portion of your day.
You got it, Pontiac.